Ooh, I know you hit that mic. Nah, it was good, y'all. It's your boy Extra Shot back with another video. And today, I'm going to talk about a very relevant topic, one that we deal with every single day. Today's title is Jobs and Modern Day Slavery. So, today, as you all know, if you're over the age of 15 in the United States, and whatever age bracket it is across different countries, I'm not too aware of, but specifically pertaining to the United States, but also if you're in a different country to your country, jobs and how they take a part in modern day slavery. As we all know, we live in a capitalistic society, dominated structure of the world today. Employers, companies, big companies use people like us that either are working to obtain a job or a career that we care about, or you know, working on our own businesses to be able to provide for ourselves. And so, with that being said, they're using our labor and cheap labor to get things done, so that way they can get more money in their pockets while underpaying the people at the bottom. So, I want to talk about the division of hours of the day and how, you know, the system is set up. So, if you work a job, as you know, if you're full time, you work 8 hours a day. It could be more, it could be less, but 8 hours a day is the standard. Sometimes you got 10, sometimes you got 12. It can fluctuate. Maybe it's like 7 hours, 7.5 hours, or whatever. But for the most part, it's 8 hours, 8 hours a day. So not only do you have 8 hours a day at work, that leaves you 16 other hours of the day. But then you have to factor in sleep. Now, sleep, is recommended to get 8 hours of sleep a day. So right there, 8 hours of work, 8 hours of sleep. That leaves you 8 hours of free leisure time to do what you got to do in a day, during the weekdays. Now, that's, and now if you have to factor in, cooking for yourself, getting up, taking a shower, that could be 2 hours right there. So really, like those 8 hours, it can go by real quick, and then not to factor in having to commute to get to your job before the set time you have to get there. So really, those free 8 hours you have during the business week isn't really 8 hours. It's really like it could really be 3 hours, 4 hours. It just depends on person by person, circumstance by circumstance. You see how fucked up that is. So 2 hour, 2 thirds of your day is dedicated and revolved around you know either getting to your job and recovering from your job. Whether it's the mental load or the physical load of the stresses that you have to deal with at that job. Not to mention if it's a job you don't necessarily care about, like it's not like a career job for you. 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours of work. You come home, you have to get to work. You have to shower, you have to, cook for yourself or go pick up some groceries to go cook for yourself or go pick up food to go so you can have energy in your body to replenish that energy. Then you have to go to sleep and wake back up, do it all over again, day by day by day by day. So it's get very monotone, very boring, very dull. That's the one thing I struggle with is the dullness of the mundane everyday back to back to back. Now I want to get into how the system is designed for you to stay under, and for you to not really escape the system or to find pleasure in the system. So the median average salary for individuals in the United States is 45K. That's according to census.org. I'm not just making this number up. I'm going to post a link in the description. Census.org says the median salary is 45K. 45,000 a year. So that means if you make below that, you're definitely considered poor. You definitely are being underpaid. You definitely need to get a better job. Me, currently, I work as a delivery driver. I'm not gonna say what company because I don't know if I'll get backlash or like they find this. So I ain't gonna say what company, but delivery driver. I make a band every 2 weeks. I'm below the poverty line. Luckily, I don't. I'm not living on my own yet, but that day will come. Well, when I want to live my own, that's Anyway, get to the point. My bad. So yeah, if you make below 45K, you're in the poverty line. But even if you make around 45K, that still doesn't make you well off. Really, you need about 60, 60 to really be well off. And okay, that also depends on if you're single. If you're single, if you're married, you got kids, a dog, whatever, like all that factors in. But let's say 60K, individually. And we're not talking about like household income. You need about 60 per person to be like, okay, I'm in a nice spot. Now we're going to talk about the average tuition cost for 4-year undergrad students like me. Currently, I'm enrolling myself to get a bachelor's in environmental science. So this definitely pertains to me also. So for 4-year undergrad students, the average tuition cost is 9,700 for public institutions, 17,800 for private institutions. Now you got to times that by 9,700 times 4 equals 38,800. Oh. 17,800 times 4 equals 71,200. So if you're going to a public institution, 38K you're going to have to go under, in debt 38K. Also, we got to talk about scholarships, grants. You can get scholarships, you can get grants, financial aid. So that might not be you're not taking the full blow of that, but you still, regardless have to go under debt, and you won't be able to really like while you're in school because you're of course you could work full time and still go to school. It's just more difficult. Overall, everything is works in a cyclical nature. Everything is structured in a way that it's going to take like real groundwork, real effort to mind you. When I say groundwork, I don't mean that in the negative sense. Like, of course, it should take some effort, but it shouldn't be unnecessarily difficult in order to be able to obtain these things. That's what I mean. To go from like, let's say you're in the below poverty. I mean, you're on the poverty line. To go up into a well-off job and then to get to the higher tier of like maybe earning 6 figures one day. Everything is set up very carefully so that way there's a revolving door of having to use the system in order to get ahead. Now sometimes you could beat it by going into a trade school, for example, not really have to take on so much debt in order to make a certain amount of money. I salute to those people who do that 100%. But for other people who want to do more niche, like have a set thing they want to do, like me, I may want to do environmental consulting, speak about environmental issues, wildlife biology, consulting, big companies, eventually getting to the higher up stage of being able to make actual decisions and have it hold real weight, in the world and affect real change in the world when it comes to environmental issues. So let's talk about the average salary. So the average salary again is 45K in the United States for single people. The average tuition is $38,800. So that means you're forced to take out loans because now you got to pay rent, you got to pay groceries and all that. So obviously, that 45K in a year is not going to you know, be able to strictly just be put off and put directly into that 38,000. So you're gonna have to go under. You're gonna have to go under, especially we have other countries who have free education, free higher education. They're using their tax dollars to actually give them free education. The United States needs to do better. We need to do better, but not we as a country need to do better. We need to get it together. We have other countries being able to become doctors for less than $10,000. Meanwhile, in the United States, you got to go all the way, get your PhD, get your doctoral. That's going to put you in $100,000 worth of debt. Obviously, you can finesse it, the system in order to not be so heavy of a burden, but obviously, we all know that's a burden. Jobs are modern day slavery. 8 hours a day, you have to work. 8 hours of sleep is mandatory. That leaves you 8 hours of the day needing to, do other things, cook, clean up, prepare for the next day, shower, basic hygienes, all that. World, the jobs, is modern day slavery. We need to, as a people, stand up against, being underpaid, working at these shitty bottom feeding jobs in order to, for the future, for our kids, for their kids, have a system that benefits not only the people at the top, but it benefits the people at the bottom, the people in the middle. We're all in this together. We are the human race, all tied in together. We need to work together. That's my message for the day. God bless. Godspeed. It's your boy Extra Shot. I'm out.